Lady. Welcome back to another episode of the Hey Boss Lady podcast. I have the boss lady herself, Lauren Chillinsky, financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. Hey, Lauren, how are you doing today?
Hey Candace, I'm doing great now that I'm talking to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Yay. I'm so excited for this conversation. So tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Lauren Chilinsky. I'm a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. So basically, what I do is I work with people on their financial goals, figure out where you are, where you want to be, how do we get there as tax efficiently as possible.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it. All right. So tell us, how did you get to boss status? What was that journey like for you?
I will say I think I'm still trying to get to boss status. I don't know, it's maybe it's a mindset of like we're never actually there. Like even if we are really there, it's just never like it never feels like we're actually there yet. Um, but I would say honestly, the way that I have found all of the success that I have found in this industry is through the women in my network, through women I know, through women I've been inspired by. So truly, it's just riding on, the shoulders of giants. That's the way that I've been able to achieve this height.
This is really good because I don't think people really understand and know how important it is to have people in your network, to know people, to connect with people and collaborate. And that's what we're all about. And you don't get there by yourself. You can't get there by yourself. Like I have never seen anyone get anywhere by themselves. They
Want
always
to.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is if number one is born and you start not liking yourself, but we definitely need help, each other's help and support. So, I'm happy that you definitely mentioned that because that's what here at Hey Boss Ladies, that's what we're all about. So, what's a one pivot that surprised you the most and taught you something game changing about yourself?
So I would say one pivot that surprised me a lot, was when I stopped looking for people to work with and started looking for people to collaborate with, like you kind of said. When I stopped going to networking events looking for clients and started looking for people in my network, truly networking with people to say, how can I help you? How can you help me? Who do we know? That was a huge game changer for me. And it really made my business take off like I never would have been able to imagine.
Okay, this is really good. Like this is gonna be the interview of the year. So because you're talking my language, you're speaking my language. This is what Hey Boss Ladies is all about. And I always say this all the time when I'm starting off the session. Like, it's not about like giving people your business card and then praying that someone will remember you 6 months down the line. Is how can we collaborate? And when you open that door, people are more willing to like actually work with you and tell others about your business versus, oh, I'm looking for clients. You want to be my client? But it's like we're doing something together. I love it, love it, love it so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, I think that you and I have spoken about this before, but there's that phrase kind of going around right now that, everybody wants a village, but nobody's being a villager. And I think that that's just been such an important thing is as having that villager mindset of what do you need, can I borrow sugar from you? Can you borrow sugar from me? That's really the way that we're going to build a community, and that's really the way that we're all going to be able to find success at the same table instead of trying to be in competition with each other.
Exactly. And I wish a lot of companies start teaching that. Like, especially, you know how I feel about the MLM and them people,
Mhm.
If you are one, I'm sorry, I apologize that I offend you, but, they're not taught right. It's not something that, they constantly teach. They say go into these networking events and start to push, push, push the product, and they don't talk about build a relationship, build a connection first before you do that. Now, some people, I've run into some people that have, build connections with me, and I don't mind telling people about them, but it's some of those, so yeah.
Yeah, right off the cuff. If that's all you're going for, you kind of know it too, and it makes you feel a little defensive of like, oh, are you only talking to me to try and sell me something? Do you care about me? Do you want to get to know me? And I think that again, that's just been it just makes you a better person and it makes you more successful in business. Of talk to somebody because you care about them because you're interested. Best way to be interesting is to be interested.
That's right. That is so true. Oh, I love this so much. So I love that you stated time is your most valuable resource, especially in the world of compound interest. It's better to start investing small amounts when you're younger than to try and play catch up later in life. Can you talk more about that?
Absolutely. So I have never had a client say to me, "Ugh, I wish I had invested differently. I wish that I had, this was a bad choice to be doing this." The only thing I've ever heard complaints on is I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had started this when I was younger. And that can be said about honestly any age. It's not saying, "Oh, I'm 65. I wish I had started this when I was 55. I wish I had started this when I was 45." So it's kind of one of those, the saying like, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The, next best time is today. So I would say whatever, wherever you are in your financial journey, just getting started is such an important thing because time is on your side. Compounding interest is going to help you. It is better to start investing, $20 when you're 20 years old than to be trying to play catch up later in life when you're like, I want to retire. Like, should have thought about this earlier, right? So
Right.
really just best time to start is right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. So let me ask you this. What would you suggest, like someone who's young, who's in their 20s, what type of an account, I would say, and the amount you said $20, and how often would you suggest they actually invest in?
So I wouldn't necessarily be able to recommend a specific account just for everybody because everything is so different. What I would recommend is speaking to a financial advisor. You're welcome to talk to me if you want to. You're welcome to talk to anybody in your world to kind of try and figure that out, the type of account. But I would say the most important thing would be consistency. Figure out a number that you feel comfortable with saying goodbye to every week or every paycheck or every month or whatever that is, even if it's $20, even if you said, you know what, $20 a paycheck, maybe I won't go, to lunch one day and I'll put it this way instead. Find a number that you feel comfortable with and just set it and forget it. Say, okay, $20 is going towards, this savings account or this retirement account or this brokerage account or whatever it may be.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good to know. Yeah. I was just thinking about the news yesterday. I don't know
I'm
why.
sorry.
I tried to not listen to it, right? And they mentioned how now, and it's so crazy, like people who save up for retirement, they only have literally a year worth of retirement. And then it's like, what am I gonna do after that? Like they only have a year's worth of salary saved up. And then
Mhm.
like what in the world am I gonna do after that? You know?
Yeah, and I think that really speaks to the power of having a plan put in place. The sooner that you can start planning, the sooner that you can start figuring that stuff out. Um, because we're able to put projections together for people of saying, let's say I do start only saving, if I can save $100 a month starting right now, what's that going to look like in retirement? And sitting down with a financial professional is it just a great idea for anybody to create those projections and to figure out the different types of buckets of money that you want to have because you don't ever want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to put all of your money in one account. So I see that a lot of people who have only used a 401k. They said, cool, I'm going to save with my 401k. Great. And again, it's not that that's a bad thing to do, but a lot of times people don't realize the tax implications of that either. If you put all of your money in a, you know, taxable account like that, it felt good at the time because you're not paying taxes on it when you're adding to it. But then in retirement, you have to pay taxes on that coming out. Um, so just kind of diversifying your portfolio is really important, and I'm sure everybody has heard that before, but not just diversifying, the different accounts that you have, but the different types of accounts that you have is super, super important as well.
Okay. I'm not going to go into what you read because I can go down a rabbit hole. I'm serious. A lot of these questions I ask for myself, just by the way.
Absolutely. I mean, isn't it one of those things though, ask that question because somebody else has it, and
Yeah.
you can be the brave person to ask the question for everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. I think I asked
Mhm.
too many questions for everybody else. Maybe we'll
Never.
have you come back on the podcast and, maybe around what's a good time to start really talking to people about this. I know tax season is, pretty much over. It was over days ago. But when is a good time for people to, I mean, of course yesterday was, right?
Mhm.
But what is a good time for people to say, okay, I really need to, I probably should start talking to someone, or I need to make an appointment to talk to someone. Um, and not, and we don't want to say don't do this when you are hitting 60 or 70 and getting ready to retire. You realize, oh my gosh, we're talking to those who are definitely in the age where they should just start it, but really need to start right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I agree completely. Obviously, like I've said it, you've said it, best time is right now. But honestly, it sounds a little counterintuitive, but I know the tax season just kind of ended for everyone. We all hopefully got our taxes in, we all did it. Now is really a great time to start the planning for taxes next year, because that's another really important thing, especially for, if you're a business owner, planning for your taxes is a huge part. You get to April and it's like, oh, you owe all of this money. If you weren't expecting that, it's a very uncomfortable situation. So starting right now and saying, okay, we're starting fresh. What are we doing for 2025's planning? This is a great time to actually be reaching out to financial professionals.
All right. Definitely need to write that down. Yeah.
You're like, all right, put
Yeah.
on to-do list for tomorrow.
Exactly. Right. Because I hear that, because I actually spoke with someone before and they were like, definitely do the quarterly taxes. And I always be like, well, I don't know how much to give. And I guess, giving more is better than giving, none. But I always wonder, what is the benefit of that? And we're probably gonna talk about this a little bit more later on down the line because I can get down into a rabbit hole with business taxes and different things like that. And you're more of an advisor. I don't think you're like a CPA, so
Right. So I'm not a CPA. I cannot
right.
file your taxes, nor do I want to.
I don't blame you, like seriously.
But a great thing to remember too is having a financial advisor at the table with your CPA can really, really benefit you as well. Um, I think of myself kind of more, I am not a sports girl, so this is going to come out clunky, but I'm basically like a quarterback. So you want to have, the business owner like you want to be at the table, you want your CPA at the table, you want your estate attorney or your, business planning attorney at the table, and you want somebody to kind of be running that, to know what all of these parts are doing, what all of these parts are saying, because then I can put it all together into a plan for you that has all of these moving parts connected.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Look,
it benefits me too because again, I do not want to do anybody's tax. No offense to the
I
CPAs out there. You guys work way hard.
I
That's
know
amazing.
I always be like, "Ooh, it's that time of season for them," and I feel so sorry for them. But some people love what they do, like they're in
Oh
it
yeah.
and they're just into the taxes and everything. And I'm like, mm-mm. I do my own, and already I cringe every year. Like I'm cringing now for next year. So
Yep.
yeah,
It's
more
just
power
it's
to
one
them.
bad day. It's one day. You just have to do it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. All right. So as you know, here at Hey Boss Ladies, we're all about connection and collaboration. What type of collaborations are you looking for right now?
Honestly, I'm looking for inspiration. That's my favorite form of collaboration. I just love sitting down and speaking to just amazing women like you. who really have a story. Um, I find it to be so inspiring and it just helps me be a much better version of myself. So that's kind of really the kind of collaboration I would love to do. This podcast, I was telling you before this that this is my first one ever. So this has been really fun. I would love to do it again sometime. I think that would be great. Um, but yeah, I think just connecting with people is really the way that I love collaborating and just kind of seeing what ideas come to us when you get, two or more boss ladies at a table, some magic is going to happen.
Yes, I love it. So how can people connect with you?
Best way, call, text, email. I also have an Instagram. It's Lauren Chillinsky Finance, just one word. Um, my email is lauren.chilinsky@nm.com. That's another great way to connect with me. Um, and yeah, call me, text me, email me anytime.
Yeah, you know what that's when you said that I'm going off the rails here, but when you said that, like, do you remember what's that cartoon Kim Possible?
Impossible. Call me, beat
Yes.
me if you want to reach me.
I was like, hey, I know that song.
I mean, I don't think that I have a ringtone anymore because obviously it's 2025 and if any of our phones made noise at this point, we would. When I did have a ringtone for texting, it was the pew, 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 like little communicator.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, like that. Oh, that's too funny. That is so funny.
I love Kim Possible.
Oh my goodness, you know what? How did I not know that?
I know.
That is so amazing. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much, Candace. This has been a great experience. Thank you for having me, and I am just looking forward to collaborating more with all the boss ladies. This has been a great, great time.